gives us. Now, how staffing will be done? How is the positions are filled and they are kept filled? How is that process goes on? Maybe by hiring, maybe by transferring or promoting or demoting. So all these types of managerial functions helps to keep the positions filled in the organization structure. Now this is a general idea what staffing gives us. In this chapter, we will be seeing how Workday is modeling the staffing process. Okay. Comparatively, I feel that two examples. Okay. Just two examples is sufficient to understand this chapter just like that. Now let's see how it goes on. So the agenda of this topic is staffing model overview, two types of staffing models. So they have given clearly that there are only two types of staffing model. Of course, if there are two types, we'll be making a comparison between those two types. So the third one is staffing model comparison. Now the fourth is setting hiring restrictions. So in this topic, we'll be only seeing two examples which gives us the clarity on the concept, and one important criteria of staffing model is hiring restrictions. So all these will give us a clarity on this topic. Now going to staffing. So we saw a general idea about what is staffing, that is filling and keeping filled the various positions in the organization structure is called as staffing. It is done by hiring, promoting, transferring, demoting. So all these managerial functions helps us to do the staffing process. Now, what is Workday telling us? We can see the first statement determines the level at which you set staffing limits and control. Maybe the hiring or transferring or promoting. So there is a control and the limits kept. It cannot be done just like that for everyone. It has to go through a particular process. Okay. So staffing model will be giving us certain staffing limits and controls. The next point tells us where hiring restrictions are established. I told you one of the important criteria of staffing model is hiring restrictions. Now, what is this hiring restrictions? Now, if anyone come and tell us, okay, any of our friend come and tell us there is a job vacancy. Okay, are you willing to try? Just like that, we'll send our resume to them. We'll first ask, what is the job? Okay, I'm just talking in our own perspective. We ask, what is the job? What is the nature of the job? Where the vacancy is? What is the location? So we ask various questions. Only when we get a definite answer, okay, we feel whether it will be apt for us, and then we try to do it. Okay, maybe it is in our own the experience or the expectations what they are saying is matching us. Okay, it is on the same domain of what field we have been experienced. Okay, or we even see that the location is feasible for us to relocate or it is near to us. So we'll be seeing over the conditions what has been given, and then we apply for that particular job. I'm talking about any candidate. Now this is a candidate's perspective. Now as such, we have to look in the organization perspective, in the company's perspective. To have a particular employee to be hired within their organization, they keep certain conditions, they keep certain requirements, they keep certain expectations. Only if those conditions and expectations are fulfilled, those candidates will be hired into the organization. Now, that conditions are called as hiring restrictions. Okay. So those conditions are called as hiring restrictions. We'll be seeing in detail about the hiring restrictions in the forthcoming slides. Next point tells us identifies how workers, jobs, and positions can be moved between supervisory organization. So in all the previous chapters we have seen that supervisory organization is the fundamental, it is a basic or primary concept that goes around HCM. So here also it tells us that how the workers have to be placed, what job, what position, how it has to be moved between the supervisory organization. Even staffing model will be supporting that. And under supervisory organization, it also tells that it is purely based on hierarchy. Okay, the superior subordinate relationship which analyzes reporting. So the next point tells us sets the level of reporting available. Okay, even a staffing model will be setting the levels for reporting made easy. The next point must be defined for each organization. When we develop each and every supervisory organization, we have to mention whether under which staffing model it will be categorized. Okay. So when we create, it becomes a process, it becomes a step for us. Whenever we create a supervisory model, we have to mention what is the staffing model. It becomes a mandatory or required field. So that is what this point tells us. And the last, once the staffing model is set on the top supervisory organization, it is inherited down to all subsequent supervisory organization. The concept of inheritance. So whatever is assigned to the superior, the subordinates will automatically default it or inherit it. So same way, when the top level supervisory organization is being given the staffing model, the other levels will automatically default it or inherit it. Okay, so this is what we get in the first overview of the staffing model. Now going to the types of staffing model. So in the agenda we saw that there are two types of staffing model. Okay, but here in the list they have given three. Since this is not required, so whatever is necessary only we'll see now. So what is not required, I just eliminate that. So as far as Workday is concerned, it is talking about two staffing model. One is position management and other one is job management. Now friends, I told you, we just remember two examples. We can remember the staffing model easily. So the examples goes as such. You can listen like a story. Okay, you can just listen like a story. Now example one is for position management. Story. Okay, you can just listen like a story. Now example one is for position management. Okay, so I'm gonna give the example one for position management. A company called Land Marvel Constructions Private Limited. Okay, so the name itself, the name of the company tells us that it is into constructions. Now they are launching a new project in Adayar. Okay, so it is a big commercial building. So they are launching a new project in Adayar in Chennai. So now, in order to take care of the new project, they are in need of one project engineer, three site engineers. Okay, and there are also other positions which are maybe those supervisors or storekeepers. Let us take that they can be outsourced by contract basis. Okay, so only the regular employee I'm taking as such now. So one project engineer and three site engineers are required to take care of that new site, what the new project they are launching. Right now, the project engineer and the site engineer, will the job requirement be the same for both? Absolutely not. The project engineer will be the person who will be leading or who will be the superior to the site engineers. Of course, he should be a civil engineer with at least more than 10 years of experience. And they can also have some requirements like experience in metropolitan cities. Okay, not just simple experience being working with commercial buildings, so they may having some descriptions in their expectations. Site engineer may be a fresher or 2 years experienced civil engineer can apply for that role or position of site engineer. Now, when they have created a position of project engineer, and now they have also created the position of 3 site engineers. Now, for the created position, they'll be hiring 1 project engineer, and for the 3 site engineer position, they'll be hiring 3 site engineers. Now, this is the project management module. Sorry, position management module. Okay. Now, example 2. The second example is HCL call center. The second example is HCL call center or any call centers, not only specifically HCL call center. Okay, any call center. So XYZ call center. So in XYZ call center, what they do is they are coming to a engineering college for campus recruitment. Out of 600 plus final year students, they have given offer letter for 300 students. Okay, they have given offer letter for 300 students. After 2 months after completing the examination, the final year students have to go and approach the company in order to join because they have the offer letter in their hand. But out of 300 students, maybe less than 10% only go and report to them back. So it may be 25 students out of 300. How many are reporting? Only 25 are reporting back with the offer letter that we are willing to join. When these 25 students have joined the organization, okay, it is hardly 5 students sustain in that organization, in that call center for more than a year. Okay, at least for a year. How many students are sustaining? Candidates, I mean, employees are sustaining. It is only 5. Now, to one engineering college, 300 students were given offer letter. The actual requirement, if we think it's 300, they know because of the experience they might have seen, only 10% will be the turning up rate. So what that recruiter will do, nearby that area, whatever colleges is there, it's arts and science college or engineering college or polytechnic college, he goes to everywhere, any degree holders. What he do, he keep giving the offer letters. So he'll be covering at least 3,000 offer letters will be given for how many positions? 300 positions, because they know very well that the number of students turning up will be very less. Now this is the second example. So first example I gave Land Marvel Constructions. Second example is XYZ call center. Now obviously second example is for job management. The category of or the type of staffing model, job management. Now with these 2 examples only, we're going to travel throughout the session. Okay, just remember the example and we can see now into the topic. Now what is position management? We can see here requires a position to be created first before hiring a worker into an organization. So what is first required? A position first should be created. Only then they can go for hiring. So in our example, we saw they are in need of 1 project engineer. So they have created 1 position. They are in need of 3 site engineers. So they have created those positions. Only after creating those positions, hiring process will go on. So what is this? Position management. Now let's see what is job management. The description given here needs to set hiring restrictions. They are not talking anything about position. They are not fixed with the position. What is they are talking? Telling us they are directly going to hiring restrictions to the entire organization in order to hire. So when a supervisory model has been created, they just fix with the hiring restrictions. They don't go with number of positions. So many positions are required. So for so many positions, so many hiring has to go. Nothing like that, because they know very well this type of staffing model where hiring and firing is a continuous process. I mean, candidates keep on coming, they keep on going out. So this becomes a continuous process for them where they cannot fix over positions. And it is also said that when comparing these two staffing models, position management and job management, 99% of the organizations, that is the industries, opt for the first type, that is position management. Only less than 1% go for the second type of job management. So maybe the organizations which are into the domain like call centers, only those type of organizations go for job management. Okay. Now let's see in detail about the position management. Staffing is done by creating and defining positions. Now, how is staffing done? First, they will create and define it. So it is the project manager. He has to take care of the whole project. Okay, site engineers who will be working under the project engineer and take care of the all the site requirements. So it will be created as well as defined with the position. Second one, for each position, hiring can be restricted to a particular job family, job profile, time type, location, and worker type. Now, all these are called as hiring restrictions. So, what are our hiring restrictions? Job family, job profile, time type, location, and worker type. So, these are the hiring restrictions. Okay. So, what are hiring restrictions? These are conditions. Okay, if a particular candidate is fulfilling these conditions only, he can go for the next process of hiring. Okay, that is kept as hiring restrictions. Now what is this point telling us? Now let's see about the hiring restrictions quickly and then go to that point. So what is job family? The domain. The domain. Okay, what is the main domain? The functional area they are working in. Job profile, the particular position, the role and responsibility of that particular position. Time type, whether he's a full-time employee or part-time employee. Location, they mention over the location, whether it's Chennai or Mumbai or Kolkata, whatever it is. Worker type. Worker type is, they categorize this into employee and the contract-based worker, that is contingent worker. Okay, so all these comes under the hiring restrictions. But we should see into the point, for each position, hiring can be restricted to a particular hiring restrictions. Okay, for each and every position. For project engineer, separate hiring restrictions are given. For site engineer, separate hiring restrictions are given. For each and every position, they define it differently. The hiring restrictions will differ. Now the third point can be used to define required qualifications such as experience and education levels for a worker. So we just saw, for a project engineer, what can be is a qualification, maybe a civil engineer with more than 10 years of experience. Maybe for the site engineer, their qualification, what they're expecting is also a civil engineer, okay, with a fresher in civil engineering, might be. Okay, so here they will be defining over the required qualifications. The next point, position will be available again to be filled once a worker is terminated or transferred to another position. Even if, even if, take for example, among the three site engineers, one particular site engineer is excelling and doing the great job, okay, is well appreciated. Now for the next project, if that site engineer is being promoted as project engineer, now his position will be vacant and it will be filled by any other employee. Okay, so the positions will never change. The positions will be available again to be filled once a worker is terminated or transferred to another position. Okay, the next point, useful for organizations that need to impose tight hiring controls. Tight hiring controls. Okay, it is each and every position is being controlled with lot of hiring restrictions. So only when all those conditions are fulfilled, okay, entering the next process will go on. So position management have a very good control over the hiring process and can be used with job requisitions. So what are called as job requisitions? Any formal request to create a new position, okay, in a company, we call that as job requisitions. So based on the job requisitions, the position management, the positions will be created and the hiring process will go on. So this is about the position management. Now job management. The first point, staffing is done by defining one set of hiring restrictions for the entire organization. So we can see here they are not touching over the point of creating a position and then filling the position by hiring process. It doesn't go like that. So what they do, the first step, they define, okay, hiring restrictions for the entire organization. So when a supervisory organization is set up, so what they do, they categorize that supervisory organization into job management by giving it hiring restrictions. That's all. They go straight away to that. The next point, hiring can be restricted to a particular job family, job profile, time type, location, and worker type. So it's talking about the hiring restrictions. So just as how position management is having hiring restrictions, the same way job management also has hiring restrictions. But it will be little bit simple, okay, not as complicated because there for each and every position the hiring restrictions are given. But here in job management we can see that for the entire supervisory organization is just the one uh, what do we call that, hiring restriction is being given for the entire supervisory organization. It is the same hiring restriction that get inherited. Okay, now next point, useful for organizations that prefer very broad job requirements. So now we have to remember an example, very, so it is this type of module, that is job management staffing model, is being used for which type of organizations which have very broad job requirements. I told you, like call center, where they need many number of candidates to work in the organization. Okay, when they have broad job requirements and or less control during the hiring process. Here I told you, right, because they know that the number of turning up rate will be very less. So obviously what they do, they give more number of offer letter so that at least 10 percentage of it turn back to them. Okay, so they don't have any control in the, very less control in the hiring process. Now we go to the next point, then how it is controlled. Can the recruiter be giving the hiring process, doing it continuously to a n number of places and taking candidates and hundreds into the organization? Then where will they have control? So we can see this point as telling us organizations rely on workforce and approvals during the hire process to control the number of workers in a supervisory organization. So here, the hire process is having a control in the way of approvals. So it is not that whoever is given an offer letter, whoever is turning back, all that, all are entering into the hiring process. They have some restrictions, some control in the conditions of approvals. Okay, and we can see that it is flexible and faster because it is as this type of management we can see where hiring and firing is something a common real time experience for them, where hundreds come in and hundreds go out. So it is very flexible, at the same time it is very faster. Okay, last point, can be used with job requisitions. So what are job requisitions? The formal request to create or hire people into the company. So with job requisitions they go for hiring the people. So this is about job management. Now key features of staffing model. So here also we remember our examples, and we with our examples we just read over the points. Maybe we get a better insight into it. Now the first point under position management, an open position is required in order to hire. So, as far as our example, the position of project engineer should be there open. Okay, only then a person will be hired into it. But when we see under job management, no position is created in order to hire. Here, there no need of positions at all. Just the job requirement is there. They just keep hiring people. They don't create any positions before hiring process. The second point under position management, hiring controls are defined in each created position. So what are hiring controls? It's the same hiring restrictions. So for each and every created position, so whatever position they have created, they'll be defining the hiring requirements for it. Okay, restrictions for it. But here you can see hiring control, that is the hiring restriction is set at the supervisory organization. So what is done for job management staffing model? Each and every position is not given any separate restrictions of hiring restrictions. They give a common hiring restriction. Okay, in the supervisory organization, the same will get inherited to the lower levels. So we were seeing in the second point. The third point is position remains open until they are manually closed. So we saw that even when an employee is promoted or transferred, or even when he's terminated, any of these managerial functions takes place, the position will remain open until the position is being closed manually. But we can see the opposite point. We can see the last point in job management. Position is automatically created behind the screens during hire and closed during termination. So it is not done as the position will not be literally formulated, created, and then the hiring process. It doesn't happen like that. When a person is hired, it is understood that he is being placed in the organization. When he moves out of the organization, it gets automatically understood that his position is being closed. So we saw that hundreds and hundreds of employees will be moving in and out. So nothing like creating and deleting it, nothing like that happens. It is understood. It's automatically understood, okay, behind the screen that they are taken in, and when they move out, the position remain closed. Okay, so this is what we understand from the key features of staffing model. Now, staffing model comparison. So we saw two types of staffing model. Now we're going to see a comparison between both the types. Staffing restriction, hiring limits and control, moving workers, jobs and positions, organization assignments, compensation, tracking and report. So all these are the different areas in which we are going to compare and contrast between both the model. Now, staffing restrictions. So now we're going to compare position management with job management under the topic staffing restrictions. Now, set hiring restrictions based on job, family, job profile, worker type, location, and time type. Now, what has been done? Set hiring restrictions based on job family, job profile, worker type, location, and time type. So, all these are the hiring restrictions we saw. So, here for position management, it's yes, as well as for the job management, is yes. We saw that hiring restrictions will be given both for position management as well as for job management. Of course, they'll be giving hiring restrictions. Here, the next point tells us hiring restrictions based on qualifications such as education and experience level. It will not be well defined, okay, for job management, but it will be well defined for position management. For job management, why it is not well defined? Of course, even they are giving hiring restrictions, but what is happening is they don't do it for each and every position. So whatever has been given to the superior, okay, the top supervisory organization, the other levels of supervisory organization just inherited. So it has been given that defining hiring restrictions is not found in job management. The next one is level at which hiring restrictions are applied. So how they are applied? Applied to individual positions. So hiring restrictions are given or applied to individual positions, to each and every position separately. But here in job management, we saw that the hiring positions are given to the entire organization. So whatever is being given for the top supervisory organization, the same thing is being inherited for all the other levels. Now, the last one, when it is too late to change the staffing model. When we go through the video, we understand that it is not workday even permit to change the staffing model. Okay, it is possible. We don't say workday doesn't say it is never possible to change working model once it's fixed, but it's little difficult. Okay, it's little difficult. That's the meaning here they are using. When it is too late to change the staffing model, it makes the process little tedious. So after position is created, when the supervisory organization is created, even at that time, staffing model can be changed from position management to job management is possible. But when the positions are created, so after creating positions, then we know that the when we change that to job management, now everything goes on a toss. That everything get confused and collapsed. So after creating positions, it becomes a bit difficult. Okay, it has been considered as little late for the staffing model to be changed. Under job management, after person is hired, okay, why job management after person is hired? Here positions are not created at all, so that won't be a problem. But when a person is hired, one, when it is too late to change the staffing model. When we go through the video, we understand that it is not workday even permit to change the staffing model. Okay, it is possible. We don't say workday doesn't say it is never possible to change working model once it's fixed, but it's little difficult. Okay, it's little difficult. That's the meaning here they are using. When it is too late to change the staffing model, it makes the process little tedious. So after position is created, when the supervisory organization is created, even at that time, staffing model can be changed from position management to job management is possible. But when the positions are created, so after creating positions, then we know that the when we change that to job management, now everything goes on a toss. That everything get confused and collapsed. So after creating positions, it becomes a bit difficult. Okay, it has been considered as little late for the staffing model to be changed. Under job management, after person is hired, okay, why job management after person is hired? Here positions are not created at all, so that won't be a problem. But when a person is hired, we know that the hiring restrictions are totally different. Okay, it doesn't follow the steps of position management. So after hiring the person, if we try to change the staffing model, again it goes on a toss, right? So that is about the staffing restrictions or hiring restrictions, the comparison between position management and top management, job management. Hiring limits and control. So we saw about these points already, but here we are seeing it as a comparison. Imposing hiring limits. Yes, for each and every position, they have lot of limits kept. Okay, the hiring limits are kept. But for job management, no. We saw in the example, the recruiter will be giving more number of offer letters just to encourage more number of people to turn back into the organization. But how do they have the hiring limit then? So of course, in the process, they are not having any restriction. But how will they have their limits? The limit will be enabled in the approval process. Okay, in the approval process for the hiring, in that they'll be having their limit. Now the next point, open position required to hire. Yes, for job management, sorry, position management. Why? Because only when the position is created, hiring process will go on. Without position is being open or created, it cannot go to the next process of hiring. So for position management, yes. For job management, no, because we don't create any position in the staffing model of job management. Going to the next one, compensation. So ability to assign default compensation. So for both type, it is yes. So whatever compensation is defaulted, it can be done for both type. Tracking and reporting. Ability to report on both open and filled positions. Okay. So now, since we are well defined with each and every position, the ability to report on both open as well as full position is very simple. Okay, we can report both open position and filled position. But job management, we cannot do it. Why? We don't have the positions created in job management. So literally it is not possible. The next point, position history tracked. Because your position history can be tracked easily, because even when the employee is transferred or promoted or demoted or terminated, so whatever functional managerial function takes place, okay, the position remains the same. So it's very easy to track over the position history. But job management, we saw, it is assumed, it is just understood that one, when an employee enters in, his position is created, and when he goes out, his position is terminated. Okay, closed. So there we cannot track over the position history. Now, setting hiring restrictions. Now, this is literally what we do in our technical part. Okay, when we fix over or form over a supervisory organization, automatically there will be choosing a particular staffing model. So under staffing model, there we have to give the hiring restrictions. So the hiring restrictions, each and every one will be like categories. So we have to check in certain categories, and we have to just feed in certain informations in those categories or elements. Okay. Now, what is hiring restrictions? So we have seen that these are conditions. So they have given the same explanation. So it define the rules and conditions for holding a job or position. So the company who will be hiring the employees will fix certain rules and conditions only with the when the candidate is competing with all those conditions, he will be taken into the job. The hiring process will be taking place. So that is talking about hiring restrictions. So limit staffing too. So what are the hiring restrictions categories? So we have to specify over job family. We have to specify over what is the job profile. We need to tell about what is the job type, that is worker type, whether it is employee or contingent worker. We have to tick over it. Next is time type. We have to tick over, check over whether it is full time or part time. Then for location, we have to mention what is the location where the position that employee will be placed in which location. And then required qualifications, that is experience or is education level. So all that will be done. And we also should be clear that this is done only for position management. For job management, it is understood that it just gets inherited from the superior organization. Now, hiring restrictions, we can see the illustration here. So, whatever we have discussed is being given the same. So, here we can see in the supervisory organization, there are two types of sales representative: technical sales representative, customer sales representative. Now, we can see how their hiring restrictions illustrated here. So, here they have given the hiring restrictions as full time employee, and they have given this is the work type, and this we can see the location as New York. And for customer sales representative, the hiring restrictions is given as it should be a full-time employee, and it's a full-time employee is talking about the time, right? Here this is the nature of the work nature of the profile. So that is, it is contract based. Okay, it is not the employee, it is the contingent worker, and the location is also different, San Francisco. Now, how hiring restrictions are applied? So we have seen this clearly. So let us again see. Position management are established at each positions. So hiring restrictions will be given to each and every positions individually. But for job position, what is being done? It is being given for the entire supervisory organization. So for the superior supervisory organization, it will be given, that will be automatically inherited by the other levels, the levels that is below to the superior or top supervisory organization. Now, no job restrictions. Now, this is one particular thing. Okay, no, a category called as no job restrictions. Now, if a position or job doesn't have any restrictions, okay, the no job restriction checkbox can be checked. So even if it is a position management, we saw that we have to give job restrictions, that is hiring restrictions, but there may be certain roles where they need not have any job restrictions. At that time, while creating the position, they have to check the category of no job restrictions. In the same way, even for job management, here we don't create positions. So what we have to do while hiring restrictions, while giving the hiring restrictions, they have to check the category of no job restriction. Fine, that has been given here. So you must still create a position or hiring restriction to hire into the supervisory organization, even if there is are no job restrictions. Okay. So either we are going for position management or job management. For position management, what we do, we create the position and then we check in the category of no job restriction. If it is job management, no position creation. So what we do while giving the hiring restrictions, we check in the category of no job restrictions. So that has been given in this slide. Now the last one, just the overview of whatever we have seen. So one staffing models is assigned to every supervisory organization to establish how jobs and positions are defined and filled. So whether it can go for either the first type, position management, or to the second type, job management. So any one staffing model should be assigned to every supervisory organization. The next is Workday supports two staffing models. So we have seen two types of staffing models. One is job management and the other one is position management. The third point, position management provides the most level of control. So the hiring control is maximum in the position management, but the hiring control is not much. It is very flexible in the job management. So that's all with the chapter. Thank you.